Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition, potentially the final edition of Patriots Draft Hub for the 2026 offseason. In today's episode, me, Thomas, and Andy will be recapping the 2026 Patriots draft class, which picks we like, which picks we don't like, and we will do it in order from rounds 1 to round 7, and we will not be discussing UDFAs yet. So without further ado, let's get started with our initial thoughts overall on this draft before we break down every single draft pick, because I'm telling you, there are some generally positive feelings about this Patriots draft class. So starting with you, Andy, what were your initial thoughts on this draft class overall?
Yeah, there were some players I was like, a couple of players I was like, rah, 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 and a couple of players I was like, say what? I came away from Saturday wanting to give this draft somewhere in the B minus C plus range because, yeah, I liked the Cronover pick, but I was like, who in the wide world of fuck is Karan Prunty? I'm like, and I was like, okay, I did a little more research on him. It's like, oh, geez, he was kind of a stud at Kansas and what was it, like North Carolina Tech or something?
No, at Wake Forest.
Wake Forest, thank you. And then Jam Miller, that running back out of Bama, he had and was a pretty sweet 2024 season, and I liked the D end out of Boston College, out of BC. So I just took a look at one. It wasn't Dane Brugler. He ranked us the 20th best draft, which I think is like that's a little low. But yeah, I agree with the B plus that I just read from ESPN. I think it was ESPN.
Yeah, it was from Mel Kiper Jr.
Thank you. I don't agree with many things that come out of Kiper, but I do agree with that. Putting this draft in the B plus range because I was leery of the Lomu pick at first, and then I kind of came around to it. Akis, I've been in on for a couple weeks. So yeah, B plus for me. I think, we filled our first 3 needs, our worst 3 needs with those first 3 picks, and that's what we had to do. I could say more, but I will throw it to Thomas right now.
Yeah, I kind of like this draft class. It's not better than the 2025 draft class, but I say, but to me, I say it's an A minus draft to me, in my opinion. There's some draft picks I enjoy, I like, but I don't get what, and I kind of do. The Caleb Lomu pick I respect that because there's not much offensive tackles that we could grab when we were at the 28th pick. Like, what else do we supposed to get? Like Caleb Lomu, like when I look further on the college games, he's actually a good tackle at this point. And I said this here to be a replacement for frickin' Morgan Moses because he's up in age. So Gabe Hawkins, I adore this edge from Illinois. He's more like a wrestler type of edge. He's more like a Mike Vrabel type of edge. I definitely enjoyed. Then there's some picks that I was like, not heard of. That is that linebacker out of TCU, which he has props and stats, but the pick I really don't get why people I don't get why people are fucking pissed about it, and that's Barry Morton out of Texas Tech, the quarterback.
A lot of people like him. What was it? Barth was saying he liked him. Like, I, to be honest, don't know much about Morton. To be honest, there were some guys. Sorry, Thomas, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Morton's actually a good quarterback. But I watched a couple of college games here the most recent ones when Texas Tech faced TCU. I mean, not TCU, BYU. There we go. Fuck's sake. So he throws good deep balls. Like he throws a couple of good deep balls when he needs to. And plus he played like exceptional football. Well, on the career stats I have here on my paper, completed 63 of his passes, almost 9,000 yards, 7.1 yards per throw, 71 touchdowns, 28 career interceptions, and a quarterback rate of 136.7.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
And I looked at the rest, and I look at the record for Texas Tech last season. They were 11-0.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow. I hadn't remembered that. Texas Tech. I knew they'd done well, but not 11-0.
Yeah, they were in the college football playoff, but they lost to, I think, Oregon, if I remember correctly.
They lost to Oregon in the Orange Bowl. They beat, like you said before, Thomas, BYU in the Big 12 championship game. So that's really something to look out for. So actually, they did lose. Okay, so when he was playing, he went 11-0. But collectively for Texas Tech, which is everybody primarily talks about defense for Texas Tech, but the offense is one of the most underrated positions that we focus on for Texas Tech. So the game where I'm trying to find the game where basically what some you that you have hold on, let me take a look at it. I'm trying to find the game between Houston and Texas
Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech. Okay, so it was the other quarterback, Will Hammond, not Baron Morton for Texas Tech that were starting. So thankfully, him as a quarterback went 11-0 from a really good school. They were ranked number 12 overall in college. No, number 7, in colleges. So that's something to look out for. But the only reason they are praising Texas Tech is because of David Bailey or Jacob Rodriguez. I'm pissed that the Dolphins have my guy Jacob Rodriguez, but more importantly, I like this draft in the sense that I was really pissed about a couple things. Like the Dolphins really pissed me off when they decided to pick some of our linebackers. I know Tyler's pissed about Kyle Lewis going to the Dolphins, Jacob Rodriguez to the Dolphins, Chris Bell to the Dolphins. Not to mention the Jets getting Sadiq and Omar Cooper. That kind of scares me a little bit, but not really.
I'm confused about the Jets getting Sadiq. Like, they already have a tight end, Mason Taylor. Why do they need more tight ends in the room at this point? That is something I don't get at all.
And then them getting Cape Klubnik, which I'm not.
Like over Garrett Nussmeier? Like, again, I'm way more confused at this point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, him over Nussmeier. I think he went over Aller too. That doesn't make any sense.
Like Drew Aller went to Pittsburgh. Garrett Nussmeier went to the Chiefs.
I was surprised the Chiefs drafted a quarterback, although Mahomes isn't young anymore. They do need a backup over there.
Have you guys already react to the freaking Rams picking the quarterback?
That I did not see that coming.
Ty Simpson in round 1. I did not see that either, especially after Matt Stafford, shall we say undeservedly here, as Pats fans won MVP.
Yeah, what? I'm not gonna. No, to me, Stafford deserves MVP in my opinion, in my eyes. But
yeah, we're not gonna go that.
We're not gonna go that far. So anyway, but
it's not that I hate Matthew Stafford. It's like I don't understand why Rams pick Ty Simpson over like weapons like Mekhi Lemon or getting.
Yeah, I know, right?
Everybody
somebody
thought
on
they'd pick. Everybody thought they'd pick a receiver. Maybe Boston. Usually Boston or Lemon. I think invariably were mocked.
Yeah, Makai Lemon is another one of the best receivers of this draft class. Literally, they should go with that or literally Denzel Boston. I don't know why Boston is dropped to like round 2 or 3 at this point, but instead they got Ty Simpson. I mean, I don't hate Ty Simpson, but
No,
the
neither
only
do I.
the only issue I have with him is his footwork and his accuracy. He has not improved that. If he literally improves that, then I'll convince that he will be a good quarterback at this point. But draft him 13th overall, that is a reach, to my opinion. He's
I
more like
have
a
a
day
co-
2 guy.
One of my colleagues thinks he's better than Mendoza. I don't.
No.
I disagree.
No.
Really?
That I completely disagree with. Like Ty Simpson's Alabama Crimson Tide got destroyed by the Hoosiers, led by Fernando Mendoza.
The Hoosiers has been great defensively and offensively, and it's led by Fernando Mendoza, who's literally, in my opinion, and everyone is the best quarterback in the draft class. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we could go on a ramble on that. I just feel, honestly, this draft class has been entirely weird. Like, we could say, like, it's weird for the Patriots in a sense that the last 2 seasons we were, like, picking in the top 5. Now that we're back down to being picking in the 30s is kind of weird in a sense. So that's more of, like, getting our top second round pick in a sense. But there's a lot of things we can discuss. But by the way, guys, if you haven't already, please make sure if you're coming into the stream, hit the thumbs up button on your way in, and that you are subscribed to this channel is the best way to help us support the channel, help the boys, helps me, and it helps grow the Patriots Clubhouse community. It would be really appreciated if you click the like button. Please click that subscribe button, and also share this with all your friends and family who could be football fans or Patriots fans. So, yeah, so before we get started with our own draft class, recapping the whole entire 2026 NFL draft, there were some good draft classes from multiple teams. Like, I thought the Giants did well, the Browns did well, surprisingly the Panthers did well. There are teams that confuzzled me. And one being the Titans, one being the Cardinals, one being the Jaguars I'm telling you.
Don't forget about the Niners.
What did the Niners do?
The Niners. Let me look. Let's see.
Let me take a look at the 2026 Niners. Like, we took away their guy, which was Caleb Lomu, because they needed him.
Yep. So the Niners could have go with the best receiver available, which I believe it was Boston at the time, but they picked Deshaun Striblin of Ole Miss, which confuses the fuck out of me. Over
Boston.
I
didn't understand that pick. I didn't understand it.
And they addressed 3 of their needs, which is OT, edge, and receiver. But the receiver I'm confused on. Romello Height, and they got a.
Then they got Kalen Black out of Indiana.
Yeah. But then there's the other no names right here. Carver Willis, Price Sock.
I picked up an Price Sock. Jaden Duggar, interesting.
Enrique Cruz Jr., from Kansas. Yeah, I mean, but I'm way more confused on the Stribling pick for not San Francisco.
I like Stribling. I just don't like the value that the 49ers got him.
But I'm way more intrigued with the Tampa Bay draft. Especially, I'm way more surprised that Ruben Bain Jr. was dropped really low in the top 15.
I was surprised too that Ruben Bain dropped, because I was looking at the draft. I thought Ruben Bain would at least go to Tennessee or go to like
I don't know, or more like top 10 in the draft at least. But the fact the Bucks picked Ruben Bain, that's a steal in my opinion.
It is a steal.
That's a heck of a pick out of them here.
Yeah, I think the reason why he dropped was mainly because of his arms, which I consider that to be BS.
Yeah, that's right up there with that's kind of like back in 2023 with Christian Gonzalez. Everybody had him pegged as a top 10 pick.
Yes.
Invariably going to the Raiders, and then
I don't know
he
why
falls to 17, and apparently it was the scuttlebutt fairly recently is that was not a Belichick pick, it was a Wolf pick. But
yeah, it was a Wolf pick, more of a Belichick
we're not
pick.
going down that road right now.
Yeah, we're not recapping that because we already know that story all too well. And I kind of say that I was a little scared that this draft could be the 2022 draft class after we drafted Caleb Lomu, but looking at his records, I'm like, okay, at least he has something to give for us.
And he was billed as one of the top tackles in the draft. He was not he wasn't a la Cole Strange at all.
No.
Just I look up and it goes left tackle. It's like, why do we need a left tackle if we got Will Campbell? And then it's like it's like, oh yeah, he's really a swing tackle.
Yeah,
and, Utah spreads their offensive linemen all over hither and yon, so it's like, oh geez, maybe but this Lomu guy's not that bad. And it was somebody, it was Caleb in our chat had mentioned the day before he liked Lomu, so it's like, okay, it could be interesting.
Yeah, but Lomu said in one of the interviews, he said he's willing to play right tackle at this point, which I just like the dedication of this kid. Like I'm not like he will be taking over for Moses. Like I said, Moses is up at age 35, 36, which I don't think he will continue anymore at this point. So at this point, we will have Campbell at left tackle, Owenu, I'm pretty sure, at left guard. Then who do we have at center again? Fucking
Jared Wilson.
Jared Wilson, thank you. And then we get and if
you mean hold on, let's start with this discussion with Caleb Lomu. By the way, guys, before we get started, I will make sure to timestamp every single player. So like when we do these discussions that you get an idea of which players we're discussing first and then go from there. So starting with Caleb Lomu. So to confirm the offensive line to start off 2026, it's going to be Will Campbell at left tackle, Elijah Vera Tucker at left guard, Jared Wilson at center, Michael Onwenu at right guard, Morgan Moses at
yeah, right. I was kind of confused at this rate. Thank you.
But yeah, but when I found out about how the first two Utah tackles were taken from the very first round, I thought I was confused about Caleb Lomu in the sense that people think like, oh, we're taking another swing and getting another left tackle, which I didn't understand because we already have a left tackle. But I think the whole thought process was because ever since Blake Miller was taken by the Lions, Maxi Yaniker was taken by the Steelers, I was like, there's no point of getting a tackle, and we're going to get an edge rusher. And everybody thought, would you agree with me, Andy, that everybody thought that before we got Caleb Lomu, I thought that we would at least get an edge rusher.
Oh, I 100% thought we'd go edge rusher. But like after a run on tackles, I'm like, and we trade up, I'm like, okay, that's got to be for an Mason Thomas or the guy that went to
Parker
Buffalo.
Or Cassius Howell.
Parker went to Buffalo or Howell, exactly.
No, Howell went to Cincinnati.
Howell went to Cincinnati, Parker went to Buffalo, and Mason and Thomas went to KC. But so I was like, okay, I was sure it was going to be for one of those edge rushers, but no, it was for this tackle. And I was like, yeah, I know Caleb Lomu's not bad, but why trade up? Why sacrifice a fourth rounder for a player at a position you really don't need? And I was like, okay, hold off on addressing the offensive line until the fourth rounder, maybe even later. Tackle edge rusher maybe times 2 early on, but and then tight end. We obviously got the edge rusher and the tight end in the second and third rounds, which we'll talk about soon. But yeah, Lomu, I was like, okay, right tackle. And I was like, okay, he's really more of a swing tackle. He's like a swing offensive lineman. I mean, he's the kind of guy you can play. He's not only the kind of guy who can play across the line, but he solidifies depth on the offensive line along with Demetrius Crownover. And that's one thing Alex Barr said in the on the Sunday kickoff yesterday. He said, I've been covering this team for 7 years. And not one of those 7 years did I ever feel like the Patriots were set at tackle. And now between Campbell, Lomu, and Crownover, it's like, holy fuck. The tackle position might be set for the next 3 to 5 years. And that is an expensivo position. I mean, free agent tackles and really free agent offensive linemen in general, they do not grow on trees, my friends. They just don't. So the best way to get them, especially tackles, is homegrown talent. And the Pats are now doing that with Caleb Lomu, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, so what I heard from Caleb Blumen when I did my solo live stream on Caleb Blumen, I later found out that from Elliot Wolf that the reason why they didn't even bother doing a top 30 visit with him because they thought he would not fall to the Patriots. I don't think that seldom even considered getting Caleb Blumen because I heard that the reason why the Patriots jump over the Chiefs and the 49ers is because I heard the Chiefs and the 49ers needed a tackle because Chiefs lost Jawan Taylor at right tackle. And then on the left side for 49ers, I have no idea what the thought process is after they extended Trent Williams and bringing in Vidarian Lowe. So I didn't get
God.
that.
They got Vidarian Lowe into San Francisco.
Vidarian Lowe, in much of my opinion, the worst freaking offensive lineman in this Patriots team at this point is now with San Francisco.
He should not even be in the league, Thomas. Oh God, where was I?
Like, I mean, we don't condone people that do not. We don't condone people that do not have a job at this point. That's what but I hate Vidarian Lowe because he's the worst offensive lineman in the fucking team at this point for the couple of seasons. I'm surprised he even got a job with the Niners.
Yeah. It's Kyle Shanahan. Oh, Field Yates had Lomu falling to us at 31, but the Pats apparently read the board and it's like, nope, he's not, at this rate, he won't fall to 31. He could go to Buffalo. He could go to Kansas City, San
Francisco.
Right, exactly.
So when I heard about Caleb Lomu, I was like, I thought it's like there's no shot we're getting Spencer Fano, and I love Spencer Fano as the right tackle because he's like a top dude. He's like another specimen of tackles, and the reason why I think Coach Harding, who is one of the offensive line coaches in Utah, I think he's done a really good job of developing these tackles. And Ashton makes up a really good point. Alt was a left tackle in college and plays right tackle in the NFL. So why can't Lomu?
That's very good point. Yeah,
that's a very good example.
So that's the same example for Penei Sewell for the Detroit Lions, Troy Fautanu for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And multiple guys in the chat have said left to right is an easier swing than right to left, I believe.
No, it isn't. Unless you're not Chuk Sakorafor, which we do not want to discuss again.
No, we don't. Oh, wait, so was I confused there, Dow? Is it? No. What
are you talking about?
Left to right is an easier transition than right to left. Yes. Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate it.
But yeah, so when I heard, with Jim Harding, the coach, he was strict. And he said, you're going to learn to play everywhere and anywhere on this line, and you can go ahead and hit the portal. Their guards can play tackle if they have to. That is something that I did not know about Utah because I barely pay attention to Utah, let alone the only player I know out of Utah was Dalton Kincaid. So, yes, Jonathan, I want to hear a perfect stat about Caleb Lomu. Or whatever you got for us. So yeah, with Caleb Lumu, I found out that he's a great guy. He's about my age. Like he's like 21. So he was born in December, and I'm born in November. So basically, I'm like a 1 month older than him. So that's really cool that we have players around my age being drafted. So that's really cool to see. But when I heard about Caleb Lomu, I feel like I didn't think about tackle being a need. Well, I knew tackle was going to be a need, but I think that I didn't consider it to be an excessive need. But then when I realized that we fucked up the Chiefs up, fucked up the 49ers up, that's actually really good that we're preventing the Chiefs and the 49ers from getting their guy. And the fact that he's still on the board when we traded up, I'm like, go get this guy. If you really think that he's going to do good for you, get this guy. And I consider that pick to be at least an A grade for Caleb Lomu. I consider it to be a B because I was like, he played left tackle at Utah, and he seldom only played left tackle at Utah. But when I saw 32 snaps at right tackle, I was like, okay, he had experience of playing right tackle. So the fact that we're getting a guy who has experience, and I heard that Spencer Fano will be playing left tackle for the Cleveland Browns, even though he played right tackle for Utah in college. So, okay, so Caleb Lomu is taller, has longer arm length, thank God, has bigger hand size, thank God, than Spencer Fano. The only downside with Caleb Lomu is that he weighs 313 pounds, which is like.
I'm sorry. So what does his weight had to do with it? We have big offensive linemen as well here. What does his weight had to do with it?
Getting bull rushed by other edge rushers. But then again, he allowed 0 sacks, only 8 rushers. An interesting point there, Tyler.
Yeah, he's
really
not.
thin.
Yeah, he is. He's slim for a tackle. Exactly.
Like he can play inline tight end for you. He could be the 6th lineman for you while he can watch.
He also had a really speedy 40-yard dash for an old.
Oh, he had a really good
pass. Yeah,
he's really athletic.
And
when I watch his tape, even on the left side, he was really athletic.
And his vertical jump was super high too. Not thinking of it.
It was like a 32.5 inches. Yeah. He had a broad jump of 9 feet and 5 inches, 25 bench press reps. So he had a 4.99 second 40-yard dash. So that's really good. His arm length is like 33 and about a half inches. So that's really good. Oh, interesting. So both tackles, Caleb Lomu and Spencer Fano, are around that weight. But yeah, he will get. So yeah, I like what Bingo Bongo says. He can easily build up muscle and weight during the off season, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like it. So before we head to our next pick, guys, what would you consider giving this grade of for Caleb Lomu? Starting with you, Andy.
Caleb Lomu, tackle out of Utah. Our first round pick, I would give between an A and an A minus. Like I said, it's depth at the position, which was sorely needed. It is not a pick I necessarily would have made. I possibly would have doubled up on edge rusher, given what a need that is. But, he's a guy I think Vrabel and McDaniels will be able to work with, as Field Yates said. And that right side of the offensive line, Morgan Moses, he's only getting older. He's only getting older, kids. I mean, that's just the way things are. And we might need to bounce him from left to right if need be. So, yeah, I'd say probably an A minus for the Caleb Lomu pick, and the minus being I would not necessarily have gone offensive line in the first round, but here we are. You're probably not only going to have Morgan Moses another year. AVT's a guard. On Wenu, you might be losing next year too. So if you have to bounce him in, if you have to bounce Lomu inside to guard, so be it. So yeah, there you go. A-.
Thomas?
I say A- to a B+. And I completely disagree at this point. You cannot pass up to a position when you pass up to an offensive tackle. If Lomu would go to like Kansas City or San Francisco, what position we would go with it if we were like the 31st pick or 28th? If I would not pass up an opportunity to go up a draft pick and literally draft it off at the last offensive tackle we could get. So I'd say just screw edge and just focus on the next couple of rounds and just go for the offensive tackle. That's one of our freaking high priority needs, according to my goddamn notes. So, no, anyway, to the Loma pick, I really like the pick. Honestly, it's not the Max in a core whatever from Arizona State. It's not like Spencer Fano, but Lomu is like an athletic tackle that we desperately need at this point here. He's good at this as a run stopper, but his pass rushing is gonna be need a little bit of work. But again, we got this offseason that he'll get this situated. But I think he is a good pick, good offensive tackle we can get for now. So A- to a B+ for me. So, but I say A-.
I'll also get an A-. I think that didn't think about getting a tackle, but realized that I love what Bingo said. He said, "Oh no, that's the wrong one. This is a good one. If my tackle had a weakness, I prefer it to be weight and muscle rather than short arms and vertical."
Ditto. Yeah.
But hey, at least Will Campbell and Caleb Lobu working together, that could be a solid combo, like what Fashanu and Membu are doing up in Jets. I hate talking about the Jets, but I like Fashanu and I like Membu regardless. So
you could say, ironing with kids. I mean, you don't really want to call it that, but they could, it's two relatively mild-mannered guys who, play on either side of the offensive line. I mean, they can learning from each other under Mike Vrabel. Pardon me. Not much of a better system I can think of.
So before I move on, I think John has sent me something on Discord, and he says that if you look at next gen stats, he has a 76 production score and an 86 for athleticism, ranked 5th in athleticism, ranked 3rd in production, also ranked 4th in total as an offensive tackle. So there's a reason why I think that getting a tackle is necessary, because after seeing that Super Bowl where Drake May was getting his ass plopped, you do not want to see that in the future, especially when you have the 6th hardest schedule this upcoming season, which we will get to in May.
Yeah, and you do not want to pass up getting a tackle, which Lobo is the very last offensive tackle that's on the draft board that you don't need to pass up.
And then he also made a comparison with Fano, considering that Fano, he was number 1 in production, number 1 at athleticism, number 1 overall. There is a reason why people consider Spencer Fano to be better than Caleb Luma. But then again, both Utah offensive tackles were really good. There was a reason why Utah was really good in the offense. So, yeah, I love Caleb. I think Caleb Luma would do well. I think analysts are bitching and moaning and being like, "Oh, we wasted on a tackle," especially from WEEI Sports. I think that they had the worst take ever, saying that we wasted on a draft pick. I'm like, come on. Would you rather see Drake May getting his ass popped again, or would you rather build the trenches? I don't get it. But that's another story here and there. So
yeah, Boston media likes to freaking trash talk. Literally,
they do.
They literally don't watch college football. They literally don't watch tape. If you literally take it from football fans and literally national media who freaking watch the fucking college football and stuff, you should know that information.
Agreed. So let's now move on to Gabe Hackus. edge rusher out of Illinois. And I gotta say, I really like this pick. Similar to Caleb Lumu, he was like one of the best remaining edge rushers left on the board because our Mason Thomas was gone to Kansas City. PJ Parker was gone for Buffalo, which I didn't understand their thought process there when Bills needed to get a guy who is more of a run defender, less and less of a pass rush defender. Cassius Howell, I have no idea what school. Oh, he went to Cincinnati. Thank you for
Cincinnati.
Yep, Cincinnati. And then what? Derek Moore to the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
Who else? And that's it.
Zion Young to Baltimore. I mean, but
good luck. Good luck, Baltimore.
Who here wanted? I can't name anybody in that chat who wanted Zion Young, except Caleb liked Zion Young.
I don't like. I don't know what Baltimore is doing with like why they want to get edge rushers with character issues. Like if you talk about Mike Green out of Marshall, this kid out of Missouri, good luck to Baltimore because I don't see it. But back to Hackus. The one thing I like about Hackus is that he has a wrestling background. And what I like, and I love the fact that you have guys with a wrestling background. He said in an interview that he has worked with some of like the former coaches who have ties with the New England Patriots. Like I think James White was in the mix.
Yes.
I think Brett Bielema, I think that's what his name is, worked with the Patriots as a defensive line coach and as a consultant. So that's something to something to consider. After all, Brett Bielema has been great as a coach for the Illinois Illini. And I know you, even though you hated that school, Thomas, because you're in
USC. They're in my conference. Yes, they even beat my Trojans last season.
And I like what Jonathan said. I find it hilarious how for years people were complaining that the Patriots needed more speed and athleticism on the team. And now that we're targeting that, people want to complain. Yeah. Pathetic.
I don't get it all, man.
Beating the dead horse here. It's, you've got a segment of this fan base. Many of them are in the media who just like they will fetch until another Tom Brady comes back to Foxborough. And it's like, no, another Tom Brady is not walking through those doors ever.
Nope.
It's just not happening.
Yep.
Never in a million years.
Anyway, back to the Hawkins one here. Got stats on my paper, as always, thanks to my permanent research. So 2025, he has. So he has 44 total tackles, 23 20 solo, 20 assisted, 11 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 pass deflection from out of him.
Really good. I like the fact that he models his game after Matt Judon. I'm like, okay, that's something to look out for. When you say you want to model a guy after Matt Judon, I'm like, okay, we don't need Matt Judon after his production in Miami and Atlanta. And I'm like, okay, at least we're getting what he was during his first few years in New England. So it's like, and that's another perfect thing. He has worked with Matthew Judon.
Which, well, makes sense. Like, I mean, I'm a wicked fan of the Gabe Hawkins pick. Probably one of my favorite picks of the draft, by far.
He's one of my favorite picks in the draft, too.
Yeah, and again, like with Lomu, you saw the rush on tackles, and it was like, okay. I saw Akis, it was past the 50th pick, and I'm like, oh, geez, Akis is falling. And, like, I don't think the Pats are the only team that are eyeing him. So, and I was like, the next thing I know, we trade up. I was like, oh, boy, I wonder if this is for him. And lo and behold, it was. This is possibly, I forget. It was either Tyler or Jonathan put one of his highlight vids in the chat last week, and I watched it. I'm like, holy crap, do I want this kid? The Pats have been lacking him a guy of that with that personality since Judon. I mean, this is arguably the most feisty, most aggressive defensive end / edge rusher in the 2026 draft class. I watched some Akis vid today. I was like, holy crap, this guy is stealing quarterbacks' lunch money right and left. And
Yeah.
who are we going against this year? Josh Allen times 2, Pat Mahomes, Caleb Williams, Matt Stafford.
I don't think we're going up against Matthew Stafford. I think we're going.
Oh, that's
Sam
right.
Darnold for sure.
Not Stafford.
Sam
Darnold. Yep.
Jordan Love.
Yep.
Jordan Love.
Trevor Lawrence.
Mobile. I mean, against
Jared
this
Goff.
Jared Goff against this slew of
Justin Herbert, potentially Fernando Mendoza,
against this slew of above average to great quarterbacks. I mean, you can't go into this season without a key edge rusher. And it was like I was watching this video earlier about I don't remember if I posted in the chat, but it's about Gabe Akis, and I just want to bring up the comment because it was super interesting. And they said, oh, no, never mind. Wrong account. Here we go. So they said, okay. Gabe Akis highlights. No, I wasn't thinking about Akis. I was thinking about Raridan.
Yeah.
So, but it was like he doesn't have like a lot of speed. I forget. It's killing me that I can't remember exactly what it was, but Thomas, pick up for me, please, and thank you.
His speed of athleticism at this point for Hawkins.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yep.
That's what I was trying to get at.
And Tyler said this really right in the chat. He's a perfect Frable guy, and he's also a film junkie. And most importantly, he is a 2-time captain for Illinois. This is really how good Hawkins is at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yup.
Also, the fact that he's worked with, like I said, Coach Brett Bielema, and then there's James White. I think Kevin Richardson, who's currently with the Patriots right now, I think he had ties with Illinois, so that's really good. So the one thing I heard about Gabe Akis, he's a 2-time captain. Love to see that. Currently 21 years old, turning 22 next month. He is also the guy that he wants to be the best everywhere. And then John has him like ranked above Messidor, Lawrence, Folk, Cassius Howell, and Derek Moore and Zion Young. I really love the pick. The only concern that I have with Gabe Akis is not the most fluid, but at least he's going to be developed to be that guy. And also the thing is that his posture when going after quarterbacks is by standing and not being like on the ground. So I wonder if that's going to be adjusted or that it's going to, or probably there's going to be more development here and there. But the one thing I like about Gabe Akis is that he can prove in the run game and the pass game. Like the fact we lack pass rush, but can improve in that and also advancing the strength for our run defense. That's going to be something that we can look out for. And Tyler says he's been able to play both even interior. Man, I really want to do a film breakdown episode on this kid because there's so much.
Interior of the defensive line?
He played part in the interior of the defensive line.
Wow.
Okay. I want to do that film breakdown with you at this point. I even watch some of the Gabe Akis' results in football, college football games. Like he's ridiculously good. Ridiculous. And hell, he's the one who motherfucking sacked one of USC's quarterbacks for.
I think is this a dream, or there were people saying right after the Super Bowl, "Give me Gabe Akis," Pats fans. Is that a dream, or?
I was one of those people that want Gabe Akis, but
there you go.
Then again, I wanted R. Mason Thomas or Cassius Howell or Malachi Lawrence, but Gabe Akis, he was one of the 4 on my list that I want for edge rusher. And I think that it was worth trading up, but I did not like the idea of trading up for second, fourth, and sixth. Maybe a second and a fifth would be easier, so at least we still have a fourth to get the other guy, but it is what it is. Nothing to hate about it. Like, would the trade deal be better if we were to get Gabe Hackett? Like, is trading away our second, a fourth, and a sixth worth it to you, Andy?
I love that we got the guy. We're gonna need him, but that's your second, fourth round pick out the window. I mean, you could have gone a second, a fifth, and a player. Don't get rid of your second round pick for this. It's stupid.
I disagree. I think it's worth to trade those picks to get that guy. Who else do you suppose? Who else is better than Akis at this point?
In this draft, at edge rusher, probably no one.
My point. My fucking point.
Okay, before we head into our next pick, quickly, starting with you, Andy, what grade would you give it?
A as in Anthony. Position of need, fast guy, twitchy guy, aggressive guy, Vrabel guy. Enough said. This was a top need for the Pats. We have lacked that edge rusher since Matt Judon. Before Matt Judon, we hadn't had one in I don't know how well. We had Dante Hightower, but he was really a linebacker. He could play defensive end a little bit.
Yeah, Kyle Van Noy.
Yep. Chandler Jones. But anyway, this is a guy kind of in that vein. You need a guy who can really rush the quarterback, and that was a gaping hole in last year's team. Was a guy who could really routinely heckle the quarterback. I mean, you had multiple guys who could do it, but not one, and Akis is that one guy.
Thomas?
A+. It's an A+ pick. It's an A+ pick. Vrabel guy, athleticism has been off the charts. His freaking speed is off the charts, even though he's 260 pounds, for crying out loud.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I also heard that Gabe Hackers is 1 inch taller, okay, and 4 pounds lighter than Matthew Judon. Doesn't hurt to get another edge rusher similar to Matt Judon. Hopefully that pans out. And possibly be a... I know that reward's meaningless, but if he gets a Pro Bowl nod, that's great. Doesn't mean anything, but at least he could be our defensive player of the year. We shall see. But
yeah, we'll see about that at this point. There's a lot of defensive rookies out there that could be potentially defensive rookie of the year, but I'm not going to put that under the bus of Hawkins. I just want to see him play good football. That's all I care at this point.
Agreed. Let's move on to this next guy, which I did not see him coming to the Patriots. And it's another position of need. Our guy, Eli Reardon, Notre Dame tight end. and I feel like we have a history. I think it's safe to say that Notre Dame and Iowa are the top 2 schools at developing tight ends.
Correct.
And everybody was talking about, like, let's go get Oscar Delp because he's from SEC and because he played for Georgia. I don't want Oscar Delp in the sense that he played through a foot fracture, wasn't allowed to participate in combines workouts, which kind of confused me a bit. But thankfully, we got a better guy. The only concern that I have with Eli Reardon is the injuries. One when he played basketball, and then the other one when he played football. So that really concerns me, but thankfully, we got a guy who is also 6'7". I don't want to close you, but the fact that we got this guy well-rounded, he says that he models his gameplay after George Kittle, not Travis Kelce, George Kittle. What are your thoughts on that, Andy?
Give me a guy who says he models his game off of George Kittle. I mean, that's one of the best tight ends in the league you're talking about there with the San Francisco 49ers. I was listening to these two guys earlier on Raritan, and one said his comps were Michael Mayer and Cade Otton. For those of you who have not listened to me, I love Cade Otton. But yeah, again, like you said, Dow, a position of need. Hunter Henry is on the older side of things. Julian Hill, you don't know. And we lost Austin Hooper. So
Falcons.
To the Falcons, where he was before. Exactly. So I don't know.
Which is a fair point, fair choice at this point. It's like you said, it's the teams that he got drafted to. So,
but yeah, I can't remember us ever drafting a guy out of Notre Dame, and it's because, like you said, there was Oscar Delp out of Georgia. We like SEC guys, we like Big Ten guys. It's Alabama, it's USC, it's LSU, it's Michigan. One of the other big name schools that's not Notre Dame, essentially. So yeah, this is 6'7". I mean, he's very wiry. He's almost built like a big, tall receiver. But, he's a red zone target, and, he makes those. I watched some college footage of him earlier today. Really, really good deep ball catcher.
Yeah,
which you need with a guy like Drake May. The problem with Raritan is that he's a little bit aggressive when going against defenders. I mean, if you know what I mean, he'll try to run straight either at or toward the defender instead of around them. I think that's what the guys were saying, and that's a minus that needs to be worked on. He almost tries to tackle, especially big defenders, more like a wide receiver than like a tight end.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
not necessarily a good thing. Plus, like Dow, you said, he's got the injuries. But like I said, a guy like Drake May, you want that, you want a guy who can stretch the field, and you got it in Eli Raritan.
And another thing about Eli Raritan at this point, he's good at pass blocking. I heard that from ESPN.
Yep.
He's good at pass blocking. He's a good pass catcher. He's 6'6", 6'7", almost the same size as Gronk, 245. And well, his career, there's less touchdowns than I did expect. He has 48 receptions, 623, 13 yards per catch, 3 touchdowns, and his longest reception as a tight end at Notre Dame, 65 yards.
Wow.
I don't know what game is it from, but that's his longest reception that according to stats. And safe to say that George Kittle, I'm looking at George Kittle's stats compared to who is it? Eli Reardon. Not a lot of gameplay for George Kittle, but at least that George Kittle, when he was in the league, at least he hit 1K yards. If Reardon can have multiple healthy seasons, hitting 1K yards and be potentially our leading receiver, I hate to say this, but granted, I like having wide receivers hitting 1K yards, but having this guy hitting 1K yards and being our leading receiver behind being under the lecture of Hunter Henry, being I would say above Julian Hill, you're giving a weapon like for Drake May, something that North Carolina barely gave him. That's actually going to be rockets.
Reardon is most likely going to be my tight end 2 over Julian Hill. Given that he's good at pass blocking, that's something that Julian Hill is not good at this point.
Yeah, I feel like with Eli Reardon, I think that you're going to get a guy who's going to be... The thing I love about Drake May and Eli Reardon connections is that both of them were former basketball players. So that's something to look out for. Like maybe like using what they learned from basketball, probably apply it to what they could do together. That's going to be something. And I agree. He's going to be the Hooper replacement, taller than Austin Hooper, basically giving him a big boy. And I love giving Drake May big boys. And that's something it's like I wanted Koziel, but then again, Koziel not much of a blocker, more of a pass catcher. I like more than the tight ends that were already taken off, like Cuevas out of Alabama, the kid out of Texas A&M. I don't know why he was drafted that high. Marlon Klein, a kid out of Michigan, Justin Joly out of NC State. I can say that there's a lot of guys.
Yeah, that was the complaint. That was the kind of main not so good talking point about Koziel is that he is not a good blocker. Raritan is a real top-notch blocker.
Yes, that's the reason I hire Raritan at this point. Not much as Koziel, which Tyler is a big simp of. No offense.
But yeah, Raritan is one of those like more controversial picks because there are people who couldn't stand him, and then I haven't watched the full video, not nearly all of it. Apparently, Nick Cattles is like Raritan is his favorite pick, even above Gabe Akis, and it'll be really intriguing to watch that and find out why that is.
Exactly. Quickly before we get into our day 3 picks, what would you give your immediate grade for Reardon? Starting with you, Andy.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go B+ for Eli Raritan here. Thomas, what?
Go ahead.
I can redo it because like Caleb Lomu, he was like those first, second tier tight ends. I mean, he was the last one left. I wanted Koziel. Call me Tyler. Okay. To humor you, Mr. Noble, I will bump it up to an A-. There I go. We need a pass blocking tight end. We know that Hunter Henry is getting up there. I think he's 30. What's he now? 33?
Yes.
Like 31, 32, around that range.
You're not. I mean, obviously, we love him, but he's not going to be here forever, and eventually he's going to retire. He actually started showing a little bit of a downward trend last season. And I do admit I like my Notre Dame tight ends and I like my Notre Dame offensive linemen. So, B+ was not the right grade, Thomas. You are correct about that. A- is the correct grade for this guy.
Thomas?
Yeah, thank you at this point. Given the fact that I hate Notre Dame because I'm a USC fan, we have that rivalry at this point. But given the fact that Raritan is a great pass blocking tight end and he's good at a deep ball tight end, I'm giving A. I'm nothing higher than an A. Given the fact, I'd rather have Raritan over the tight ends we ever have on the draft class. And hell, Raritan over Koziel. Because Koziel, not a good pass blocking tight end. That's what everyone has said at this point. Raritan is a great pass blocking tight end. And he's a great deep ball tight end. Something that Drake May can actually go for at this point. He's 6'6", 6'7", almost the same size as Gronk. And given the fact that, yes, he has not been healthy at this point. He's been healthy for healthy for 2 seasons at this point. If he has a healthy season with the Patriots as our tight end 2, I would definitely say that'll be a good rookie season at this point.
Yeah, the reason why Raritan dropped was because CJ Carr he was like okay, but he was not the best.
Yeah, CJ Carr's a freshman quarterback. Like, give him a fucking break. CJ Carr will develop each season progress at this point. Like, yes, he's an okay quarterback, but with the weapons he has, like Raridan and Malachi, whatever his fucking name is, who got drafted at this point.
Fields.
No, Malachi, I can't remember. I fucking
Malachi
can't remember.
Fields.
Malachi Fields, thank you. Damn it. Malachi Fields and Raridan at this point. With the weapons he has here, Notre Dame is a good team. But with the loss of weapons, yeah. So, if he's healthy with this team as our tight end 2, because I trust him more than Julian Hill, which Julian Hill is not a good receiving tight end. I mean, not receiving.
Agreed.
Not a good receiving tight end. Yeah, not a good pass catcher. And Raridan is. I'd rather have him as our tight end 2 over him. And out of all the tight ends on the draft class at this point, I'd rather have a little Cusio out of Houston because, again, he's not a good pass blocker, but Raridan is. That's the reason I bumped my grade to A. And he's a good deep ball tight end, and that's the reason why he had that 65, the longest reception of 65 yards. I don't know what game he has that from, but I think Raridan is a great pick when it comes to the tight end spot. That's why I give it A.
Yeah, and the fact that last thing before we move on is that the one thing I like about Raridan is that he can be a good, great run blocker, allowing like running backs. You can see why Jeremiah Love was that top of the running back. Same with Price. If he can do that with Stevenson, Henderson, and then the kid we will talk about later, it will do wonders for them too, which I can't wait to watch. So the next pick is, I wouldn't say controversial, but it's one of those picks where he could be the next Craig Woodson in a sense. Karen Prunty, cornerback out of Wake Forest. So I did not know much about him, but when I found out he's one of those coverage cornerbacks, I'm like, okay, that sounds promising. The fact he can do good against these receivers, models
exactly.
Really likes to watch Gonzo. I'm like,
if he models after Gonzo, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I can handle another cornerback who does that.
Okay. This comment from Jonathan, I cannot. Prunty is his favorite pick in the draft.
What?
Explain, Jonathan.
Can you explain why, Jonathan?
What?
I would like to know why you like
Jonathan.
I'm not gonna go off. I want to know why he's your favorite. But until then, I got the stats out of Prunty. I mean, like he is a transfer out of Kansas. To let you know about that. 40 total tackles, 23 solo, 17 assisted, 8 pass deflections, 1 sack. Yeah, that's right. 1 sack out of him. 6 interceptions.
Last season, 6 interceptions, or collectively 6 interceptions?
Last season, 6 interceptions.
What? 6 interceptions?
I'm not kidding. It's on my paper. I looked at ESPN.com, and I cannot believe that either. 6 interceptions when he's with frickin' Wake. 6.
Okay, so this is the reason why he likes
Henderson and Gonzo. Right. He ran track against Henderson. I read that too.
Also has experience with our cornerbacks coach. Okay, that's something to look out for.
Big, fast, has experience. Yeah, okay. I kind of see why.
I would not go as far as calling him my favorite draft pick. That's Gabe Akis. But yes, I mean, I did watch some. I was like on Saturday after I was at work. I was on my break at work. I was like, "Who the frack is this?" Like seriously. And then and then Tyler and probably Jonathan started singing his praises right and left. I'm like, okay, I'll watch the guy's vid, and I'm like, oh, geez. Like, he's kind of got that lockdown corner attitude about him. Like, we've done man zone. Yeah, they were talking about that too. Man zone coverage versatility. We can use a little bit of that. Maybe
I think
even
this guy's going to be the next. He's going to be the next Craig Woodson in the sense that everybody thought he was going to be. No one considered him, but I was like, okay, let's watch his tape, and he could replace Davis since
right,
Davis only has 2 more years
this
left.
Fourth or fifth round defensive back, you're like WTF, and I know a lot. Like Austin said, a lot of people were like that last year about Craig Woodson. Really, is safety in the 4th round? Here we are, a corner,
and he played really well. I would not be shocked if this guy plays really well too.
Bingo.
And if like he can lock down these big receivers, like if you can think, I can think of like Coleman, just a multitude of wide receivers, that tall wide receivers he can lock down. But yeah, I think that this guy he could be so like he could replace Davis or maybe be behind Davis, maybe replace Charles Woods. He's supposed to be that Alex Austin fit that we couldn't have.
Yep. Totally agree with that.
Exactly.
Totally agree with that.
So before we move on to the next pick, what grade would you give him, Andy? Quickly.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna give Karan Prunty a B plus B range. This is corner is not a position I would have tackled quite this early. And this isn't exactly a corner heavy draft or a DB heavy draft, but I mean, he does seem to complement it. From what I've read today, it does seem like the guy's definitely got that fire under him. He complements Gonzo. You know, he has the relationships with Gonzo and Henderson, which can't hurt. So yeah, it's I'm gonna go a B plus with this pick. I could be tempted to, doing a little more research to bump that up to an A minus, but now I'm, given that, this wasn't a double up on a need and corner was probably second only to quarterback at the bottom of our needs, then but yeah, I mean, it's depth at the position, which, cornerback, defensive back never hurts. So there you go.
Thomas?
I was first and foremost, I was confused about that pick during this live. But when I look over ESPN.com yesterday, when I looked through stats, and the fact, actually, yeah, it was yesterday or today at this point. When I looked through when I saw there was 6 interceptions and a sack, I was like, yup. That give it to me. That could be a very good pick to replace the depth like Charles Woods, who was not a good one for us here. So, B plus to a B at best, honestly. Like, I think he could be, I think he's going to be a Craig Woodson type of guy at this point that may surprise anybody here for this team.
Definitely, I would give this a B plus because I'm like, I would not get a cornerback need, but if he turns out to do really well and be the future, I don't think cornerback is going to be a need next year.
Which is a big plus. You don't want. I mean, this is making. I've heard that a lot in this draft coverage. It's like, there's a position that's not a need now, but you might want to tackle it before it becomes a need 2-3 years down the road. And then there's the whole re-upping Gonzo thing.
We don't want to get into that discussion.
No, we don't. We don't want to have to deal with corner being potentially a major need next year. So
yeah, I want to get it. No, and I want Gonzo to be the long-term future, but that could be it. That's something to discuss. Next one is kind of really interesting, considering that I watch a lot of this guy after watching the Senior Bowl. Demetrius Crownover, the Aggie out of the offensive tackle Aggie. This guy is really interesting. I like doubling up on tackle. I'm like, so I didn't understand the thought process of why we're getting 2 right tackles.
We picked him in a mock draft, I think, last week, too. He might have been the tackle we picked in a mock draft last week.
I was like, I'm okay with getting one dude, but getting him was like, okay, that's a little bit too much for my taste. So it's like I was really confused on that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on him, Thomas?
Big dude, I'll say that. 6'7", 336. He's a guy that, yep, he's a dude that that can actually be a good what is it, a RT2 at this point, or RT3, to take place of Lomu and Moses. So I think take it. I was like not heard of the guy, honestly, or never heard his name at all when I watch college football. But however, he's a big dude, and we need big tackles to be in our spot in our depth, offensive line depth.
And I think the interesting thing is that Jonathan says the only reason he fell is because he's never shown versatility, might be a bit older. I think he's going to be Lomu's backup at right tackle, but depending on what happens with Onwenu, he might slide in for Onwenu. Okay, that could be interesting because Onwenu is playing on his final year of his deal, and he didn't show up to his voluntary offseason workout, so that's kind of really interesting. But that kind of scares me a little bit. So like, oh, that I did not know. He's 24 out of 25 years old.
Yeah, this is they're saying here this is Elliot Wolf here. I'm not sure why he fell to pick 196. He's played a lot of football and he's an older prospect. He's played on the right side, so maybe some versatility type things, Wolf told reporters when asked about Crownover's unlikely slide. But no, he's 6'7", 320 with long arms, really light on his feet, and is going to have a chance to come in here and compete, and obviously going to have to start playing more than one position.
Well, at least we got the versatility on the right side.
He's 24. Tyler's right. He's 24.
Yeah, that's really interesting because I like this guy, big dude, really raw, and I know he could be a developmental type of tackle. After watching him in the Senior Bowl, I'm like, yes, this guy has he has the talent. I just think he needs a lot of work. Like he's really raw. He can make mistakes here and there. So I think that's the reason why he's going to be more of a backup. And so immediately with this grade, I give it like an A-, considering that it doesn't hurt to get multiple tackles. But this begs me the question, what are you going to do with Marcus Bryant? Is he the backup left tackle for you, I think? And are you getting rid of Caden Wallace at the point? That's going to be the bigger question. But how about you, Andy? What grade would you give him?
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm in the A- B+ range. I saw if somebody one of the might have been Chad Graff, I think, dropped a 53-man roster projection, and he had Crownover and Wallace both being carried over, which I think is a little bit excessive. But yeah, I mean, this article I'm looking at here, it says it is Sports Illustrated. Mike Dabate, he says, oh gosh, pardon me. Could the draft day loss of 31 NFL teams be the New England Patriots gain once again in terms of Demetrius Crownover? And who knows? It's like I said when we were talking about Caleb Lomu. And Tyler has said this multiple times. You cannot have enough tackles. They are pricey. They are not easy to get in free agency. They do not leave their teams that often. So yeah, doubling up on tackle was not something I would have done. It's not of the needs. It's not the position I would have doubled up on. I would have gone double up on edge rusher, which we did, which we'll be discussing shortly, and then tight end, and then tackle. But so I'm gonna put Crownover in the yeah, I'm gonna go the B+ range here.
Thomas?
I say B+ for this pick. No explanation needed for this.
Okay, I think we can move on to the next pick. And this one, I've never heard of this too, to be honest. And it's a position that we kind of needed, but not really. It's a sneaky need, but yeah, let's talk about this kid. Namdi Ubiazor, linebacker out of TCU. I'm like, I've never heard of this dude. When I found out he has 3 years of experience starting wise, does really well in coverage. And I'm like, okay, getting a dude has athletic, has the speed, and plays well in coverage. I'm like, okay, something to look out for. I granted didn't watch a lot of TCU, so Thomas, if you can like catch me up on that.
On what? Stats?
Yeah.
Okay, so here are the stats on Obiasor. On his career, 302 total tackles, 166 solo, 136 assisted, 6 pass deflections, 8.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 3 interceptions.
Interesting. How about for is that for last year or collectively?
Collectively.
You want to do last year?
No, I don't have a chance to do that.
Hold on, I gotta take care of something. But yeah, this pick is kind of really interesting. The fact that we actually got this guy, I had no idea who. The fact that he has experience at playing safety, okay, I'm like, at least he has the safety build for this, but playing the fact that he has safety speed, being able to play linebacker, he could be a tackle machine for us. I'm like, okay, this guy could be depth. Something that I hate to mention this guy's name. Jelani Tavai never had. Something that Marte Mafu never had. And unfortunately, you're replacing a guy like Jack Gibbons, who we don't have. Granted that all of our linebackers are undrafted free agents, so. But getting this guy is kind of really interesting, considering that linebacker won't be a need yet, but it will be in the future once Robert Spillane's contract expires. So that's going to be something for Yeah, what are your thoughts on this pick, Andy? Briefly.
Yeah, I mean, linebacker. Like I said, my overall grade for him is a B because it is kind of low-key a position of need. We've got, who else are you talking about? You're talking about Robert Spillane, and you're talking about Harold Landry. Landry got injured. What's up?
Christian Ellis is in the mix too.
And Christian Ellis is in the mix as well. All right, I have to look up Christian Ellis's age here. I don't think he's any spring chicken. If I'm
he's like in the 20s too. We also got KJ Britt, but he's going to be more of a special teamer, so he's also on the younger side too. So like
Christian Ellis is 27,
and he has one, and it's on his final year of his deal. Granted that we gave him that.
And Robert Spillane is 30. So for that position, neither of those guys is a spring chicken. I'm giving Abiazor a B here. I could be tempted to bump it up to a B plus, given how much of a quaternary, tertiary need linebacker really is. Again, this is a position you're going to need to tackle in higher rounds a couple of years down the road. So I'm going to keep it at a B for now.
Thomas?
Probably a B minus for this one.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I give it a B because I'm like, yes, linebackers in need, but there are other linebackers we could have got to. Like, there's Deontay Lawson out of Alabama. There's who else am I thinking of? I know Borschler was gone. Kyle Lewis was gone. My guy Rodriguez was gone. Golday was gone. Trotter was gone. There were so many good linebackers gone. CJ Allen gone. There's no shot we would get those. Landon Barton, I don't know. Well, we could have got Landon Barton out of Utah. That wouldn't hurt, but still, like, there were more linebackers than this guy. Like, I barely watch any TCU, but so I heard that 6'3", 230 pounds, combined safety speed of 4.53 seconds in a 40-yard dash with the size of a linebacker. Recorded a RAS score of a 9.14, indicating high-end athleticism for a linebacker position.
Nice. That's nice.
Okay. So I heard, Andy, you said you have to leave, but we'll quickly run through the last three picks. So with Thomas. So got you covered.
You
buddy.
sure?
If you
I
want,
can stay if you want me.
well, yeah, you can stay because we got like three more picks left, and they're not much big needs, but they're like depth pieces at least. So the one controversial pick that I don't understand why people want is this guy out of Texas Tech, the guy that the Patriots did a top 30 visit with, the guy that will consider to compete with Tommy DeVito. Thomas, why are people bitching and moaning about this pick?
Oh my lord. It's on the Patriots Global chat, the Discord, and they say that it's a waste of a pick. I'm sorry. If you think that's a waste of a pick, you are the waste of time. For fuck's sake. I'm sorry. Like, who else on the free agency market on the quarterback spot we could grab? And also, who else in the like the Patriots are obviously going to grab a fucking quarterback because we need some backup competition. And no, they're not going to be competition to Drake May. That's not going to happen to them regardless. It's more going to be competition against Tommy DeVito. And plus, I'm sorry, if you think he's not a good quarterback, clearly you don't not watch college football. Baron Morton out of Texas Tech, 6'2", 220, completed 63 of his passes, almost 9,000 yards, 8,986, 7.1 yards per pass, 71 touchdowns, 28 interceptions, which he has 6 interceptions from this season, and a quarterback rating of 136.7. You don't even you tell me with a straight face that's a waste of a pick for a backup quarterback. I'm sorry, that's not a waste of a pick. Who else on the quarterback spot that you can actually grab? Nussmeier, or I don't fucking know. Literally,
Joe Pagano out of UConn,
or Pagano of UConn, maybe. But I'd rather have Morton over the quarterbacks we could grab on the board. He has deep ball accuracy. He has mobility. The only thing he needs to fix on his footwork. The only thing he needs to get his fix is footwork.
Yeah, we could have gotten Nussmeier, but do you know, at least we're not getting Diego Pavia, who I think is a midget and has character concerns. Thank God we didn't get that kid.
Yeah,
I don't get
Morton. I think Morton is a good pick for a backup quarterback spot. I don't know why people are fucking pissed or bitch and moan about that pick. They say that's a waste of pick. Like I said, you are a waste of time.
Andy.
Yeah, Dow. I can't say it's like Karan Prunty. I looked at it and I was like, who's Baron Morton? You know, backup quarterback. I'm sorry, Thomas. I didn't watch any of the guys' footage today. But I can't say it's a bad pick. I mean, he doesn't have character concerns. He's not a guy who thinks he's a QB1 when he's a backup. I like Tommy DeVito, but he's not a guy you can keep on your roster forever. And these backup quarterbacks are always guys you can float for picks. I mean, they're the reason there's journeyman quarterbacks in the NFL. So yeah, my overall grade for Morton is a B-. If I just can quick pull up his stats here.
I already read the stats on his career, though.
Oh, you did? Okay. You mind?
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom. You mind reading them off again?
On his career, if you could pull up Morton's 2025 stats for me here, what I'll read his career stats.
What's up? Oh.
All right. Anyway, he could put on his career. He 63%. He completed 63 of his passes, 8,986 passing yards, 7.1 yards per pass, 71 touchdowns, 28 interceptions, and the passer rate of 136.7 in his career.
Yeah, that's got backup. Yeah, that's got backup quarterback written all over him. He's not bad.
At least it's not one of those like Joe Milton picks where he thinks he is want to be the top one, the quarterback one, and like, thank goodness we are not getting a quarterback one. We're getting a quarterback two at least, not at least a quarterback two.
Yeah, to me, wait, what?
Right. What do you mean by getting poached? Getting poached, like stolen?
I think that's what he meant. Like if he was a practice squatter.
Oh, okay.
I could see him being an emergency quarterback. I don't see him being on a practice squad. But what would you get? So like Andy, you give him a grade of B-. Why?
Backup quarterback. Was he for an A&M?
Texas Tech.
Texas
the same
Tech.
school that Patrick Mahomes went to.
Exactly. So, not a bad quarterback school. Not a position of need, but a position of, we got Drake May. He can obviously learn from Drake May. Tommy DeVito, again, he's 27, so, middle-aged for a quarterback. Baron Morton is 24, so he's on the older side.
Funny enough, both of them were in the same class. Both him and Drake May were in the same class, technically.
There you go. So yeah, pretty much all things considered, school positional need backup. I have to go B- on that pick. Backup quarterback is something some teams draft every year. So there you go.
Yeah. Thomas?
I give him a flat B. Like the stats given, honestly, I'm sorry. Most people give him a C because it makes no sense. It's just a waste of a pick, and he's going to be a practice squad quarterback. No. Again, if you do not even fucking know about this son of a bitch known as Baron Morton, you don't even know college football, and mainly you are just sleeping in a hot firestone that you're literally going to burn to the ground. I'm sorry. Literally, Morton is a good source of a backup quarterback. Most likely, yes, no competition to Drake, but he could be a competition for Tommy DeVito for QB2. So I can trust that. So most likely for me here, it's a flat B for me here. It's not a drafty, but more like a depth piece for offense. But it is another good pick for me here. So it's not the worst, not my worst pick.
Yeah, I would also give it a B. Not the worst pick, but not the best pick. Granted, it is a depth piece in a sense that Ron Wolf, let alone Elliott Wolf, has been drafting quarterbacks in almost every single draft class. Yeah, even during his time in Green Bay.
I'm sorry, Dow. I gotta go.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We got two more picks. So
all right, cool. I get Hutchins. I'm a BC guy. Position of needed edge rusher, A-. I'm going to say on that. Miller is a B. A Bama running back. He apparently had a good 2024 season, so you can't go wrong with that either.
Okay, well, catch you later, man.
All right, boys, have a good one.
So yeah, going back to the whole who is it? The Baron Morton pick. I knew the Patriots were going to get him. Top 30 visit with him, considering that the Patriots will draft quarterback. It's like, why are people complaining when Mike Vrabel say they'll draft a quarterback? They met with this guy. It's not like we're getting a no name. we've heard about reports on this kid for a while, for like a couple of weeks already. So I'm like, I was not surprised about the pick. So it's like, I'm okay with getting this quarterback, especially that he could be a developmental quarterback. And if if like Drake May goes down, and if he starts over DeVito, and he does really well, we could get draft capital out of him, considering that Drake May is our golden goose. I've got no problem. So to me, a B.
Yeah, most people say that's more like a C or D pick, because it's a waste of a pick, according to some people on the Patriots global chat. I really don't get it, honestly. I stupidly don't get it. Barry Morton, if you do not even watch college football, he's obviously his team went to the college football playoff as a unbeaten team, as a matter of fact, and they beat BYU to win the Big 12 championship. And they beat a BYU team with a freshman quarterback Barry Buttmeyer, who literally wore 47 at his jersey number at this point. That BYU is a good fucking team regardless. They beat that BYU team to win the Big 12 championship, submit themselves in the college football playoff, and play. And their offense has been good with those two receivers been drafted at this point. I don't know where they off to here, but still, this team is driven with their best offense and their best defense. That's why this Texas Tech team has been fucking good last season. Not only because of Martin, not only because of his offense, it's also the defense. Give credit where credit's due. That's why David Bailey's been a first-round pick. That's the reason why we saw these BYU the Texas Tech guys heading to the respective draft to their respective teams. Texas Tech is that good.
Romello Height, Lee Hunter, Jacob Rodriguez. Nobody talks about Texas Tech a lot, and nobody talks about this. Baron Morton played for the same school. He went through Texas Tech for all 5 years. The same school that Patrick Mahomes went to.
Yes.
And I agree with what Jonathan said. Patriots told people they were going to draft a quarterback, which is funny, because we were actually following through on what we said we were going to do. Mayo. Thank you, Jonathan. I need to watch tape. Well, we'll do a film breakdown on him and see how well he could do. And if he does well during training camp, he could pop out over DeVito. We shall see. Well, let's talk about the last two picks. Jam Miller, running back out of Alabama, and I kind of saw coming when we're going to need a running back, but the kid out of Alabama, I'm like, okay, this dude's really interesting. Went to the same school as Damian Harris, has the same physique as Damian Harris, power back, small dude. Unfortunately, I don't know how. Do you have his stats for Jam Miller, both receiving and rushing?
No, but I got only his career rushing stats.
You can list them off.
So his rushing stats, his career, almost 350 carries, almost 1,600 rushing yards, 4.6 yards per carry, and 13 touchdowns.
Interesting. So let me look up Miller, his stats in 2025. Okay, so he had, where the heck are his stats? College stats.
Okay. Jonathan's posted stuff. Jam Miller recorded an impressive 4.42 second 40-yard dash in the combine at 5'10", 209.
The same speed as Travion Henderson.
Yes, same speed as Henderson.
So basically, last season he had 130 carries, 404 yards, 3 touchdowns. His longest was 24 yards, 3.9 yards per carry. And then 2024, his best season, had 7 touchdowns, 668 yards, 145 carries. To me, it seems to me that coaching staff in Alabama have no idea what the hell they were doing. Let's say it that way. Everyone talks about Ty Simpson, Ryan Williams, the tight end that Baltimore drafted, Caden Proctor, which I don't like. I just felt like Alabama's overrated as a school at the moment. Without Nick Saban, I just don't like the school. I don't like the school anymore, considering that wasting the talent for these draft picks. It's, well, I mean, yeah, for these potential potential like NFL caliber players. It's sad to watch, but
Yeah. Honestly, we're eventually going to get a running back at this point here because honestly, we do not have fucking Antonio Gibson. Do we have Antonio Gibson or no?
not anymore.
Okay, that's what I thought. He's more like going to be our running back 3 to replace Jennings, which I do not trust Jennings at all. So I think that this is probably a good pick for us here.
Yeah, and we need a guy who could be a kick returner for us. So
yeah, that too.
But what I love about this guy is that he could be the next Damian Harris, and basically Damian Harris played with Ramondre Stevenson and went to the same school in Alabama, so that's really good. So, what would you give this grade?
B+.
I would also give it a B+. No explanation. And then finally, last but not least,
and Jonathan also said it right. Jonathan also said he has a solid track background, including high school records in the 100-meter dash.
Okay, this I did not know either. Don't take this as a gospel. But I saw that Alabama fans said their offensive line coach did Jam Miller no favors. Oh, brother. Again, Alabama is a school where basically nowadays with this new coaching staff have no idea how to use their talent wisely. It's just sad. Like, if this guy pops out for us, he could be our running back 3 for us.
Yeah, for sure he's gonna be a running back 3 over Jennings.
Yeah, I don't trust Jennings. Let alone seeing Lan Larison.
We'll see what happens from there.
We haven't seen what Lan Larison could do yet, and then he could be a cut candidate for us. Like him last year, but it's not the same as it once was.
Nope.
And finally, Quintavious Hutchins, edge rusher out of BC. I don't hate the idea of getting an edge rusher, getting depth at edge rusher. So like this guy, he's a BC.
Also, you forgot to add a Y on Tavius.
Hold on, let me miss. There we go. What the heck? There we go.
Much better.
What are your thoughts on him?
With the 2025 stats he has, I mean, it's kind of all right here. 36 total tackles, 16 solo, 20 assisted, 2 sacks, only 1 pass deflection. Boston College. Boston College is not known for like good defensive guys, but honestly, I'm shocked that we go double edge. At least we're gonna be more like a development edge rusher here to just put him at practice squad at this point, in my opinion. But it's an up and down pick for me.
Yeah, so basically so he can play nasty motor. He has the hip flexibility. He has his filthy spin. The problem with him is that he tends to go in the inside, less so much at the outside. And when I watched him in the Senior Bowl, he only goes in the inside, less so much at the outside, which kind of concerns me. And he's not that good in the run defense. And this guy had penalty issues, and that kind of concerns me when he has penalty.
All right.
Issues.
Yeah, we could
so
say
that's something to take note of when you watch his tape.
Yeah, we said something less about. We always said everything.
That's
What are you gonna what do you get? What grade you gonna give to Hutchins?
I don't hate the guy. I would give it a B minus. B minus to a C plus. Nothing much he can do. He's more of like a death piece.
Yeah, I say C plus. And this is probably it's my worst grade to give him. Like, I have no intel about this guy, and when you said that he has penalty issues, he needs to get that fixed. Literally, if we do see that on the preseason games with him, yeah, that's something he needs to get fixed pronto.
Yeah, and also he's not a guy that he's going to be he's going to be reliable. So he's more going to be a death piece. But we could see how knowing Mike Smith and how he's worked with edge rushers, this guy can do wonders with him. So I'm not going to be upset. So
yeah,
I could see him being a death piece because he can be our pass rusher for us. Like, he only had 2 sacks. His run defense needs something to be polishing, but he could be fine. And he recorded a 4.74 second 40-yard dash, a 37-inch vertical leap. So he has some speed. The only thing he needs is to full. He's really raw. That's the only thing he can tell you. He's more of a project. So,
yep.
Well, that concludes the 2026 draft class. So overall, I give this an A- to a B+ for this NFL draft. There are some good things here and there, primarily taking care of the defense. There were some guys we've never heard of, guys I really like. What are your thoughts on this, Thomas, overall?
I say A- to a B+ draft. Honestly, I say A-. There are great picks out there, including Lomu, which I give an A-. The best pick, Hawkes, A+, and another one, Eli Rowden, I give an A because how good of a pass blocking pass catching tight end he is. I'd rather have him over Julian Hill. And there are some good B picks out there in my opinion. There was Cam Miller and Demetrius Cronover, which you're really love at this point.
Yeah, I think that this draft, not entirely the best, but it doesn't help when Mike Vrabel didn't get a chance to talk to the players for day 3, day 2, decent, but all in all, it's not the worst draft class, but anything could happen when we basically have a good coaching staff. So this season will not reflect on this draft class, but it will reflect on the 2025 draft class, because we want to see how well Will Campbell, Jared Wilson, Kyle Williams, Trevion Henderson, Craig Woodson, and some of the rest of the other guys can take it to the next level. That's the biggest question. Would you agree?
Yes. Like, I still think this is going to be Campbell's redemption year because, honestly, he came back from an injury. And, yes, he did not play well in the Super Bowl. Jared Wilson, we played center, which his best position at this point. Henderson will pop off. I hope.
Hopefully his vision is better. Kyle Williams, hopefully he can get stronger. Craig Woodson can take it to the next level under the leadership of Kevin Byard. Hopefully we can see a presence of Joshua Farmer. Hopefully Braden Swinson can be the guy we drafted him to be. Hopefully Andres Borgales can be consistent. Hopefully Ashby still is that long snapper we have. This draft class still has potential. This is going to be a test for that draft class. Well, that's going to be it for tonight's show. Thank you guys for this joyful ride in the Patriots Draft Hub. Thank God this draft discussions are over, and now we can talk about the film breakdown. And I agree. I hope Henderson doesn't run straight up in the middle into the center's backside. Agreed. But yeah, please make sure that if you haven't already, as you're leaving the stream, please make sure that you hit the thumbs up on your way out. Click the subscribe button, the best way to help us support the channel. Join this Discord server. We haven't touched that Discord server in a while, so it's the best that you join it now and you get to interact with the boys. Please share this with your friends. Turn on the notifications for future content. We might do depth charts later. We will do like recaps and like thoughts on like mini camp, rookie mini camp, etc., etc. And we will do film breakdowns, making sure that we don't get copyrighted. I can't wait to watch film on these players that we drafted. So it's going to be an interesting offseason. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, let's go, Pats.
Go Pats.